I'm going to show you how to change the spark plugs now. This is, like I said, this is a Subaru 2.5 liter. It's a Legacy, and so you'll notice that the engine is not like probably not like your engine. This is a flat 4-cylinder, so my spark plugs are going to be over here and over here, and you're probably thinking, wow, that's going to be a pain in the ass to change that. But after you just have to remove this air intake. So all of this, which is only a couple of nuts to take off, and then you'll have to remove the windshield washer reservoir fluid, the windshield washer fluid reservoir, and then that will grant you access to the spark plugs. Like I said, it looks like a pain in the butt, but it really only takes a few minutes. So first we're going to go ahead and remove this air intake. So you're going to just remove this bolt right here, that bolt, this bolt right there. There's a bolt down here that you got to remove, that one right there, and then this bolt right here. So 3 bolts and a nut to get this air intake off, and then that will give you more than enough room to accomplish your job. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that works. So I said we have 3 bolts and 1 nut to remove to get this air intake off. So what we're going to do, these are 10 millimeter, so throw my 10 millimeter on there. Break them loose, then you can just pretty much use the socket and get them the rest of the way off by hand. It would be a good idea to get a magnetic bowl to put all your screws and all your nuts and bolts in, just so you don't lose everything. I don't have one of those right now, so kind of screwed on that. This is one of the instances to get this bolt out down here that an extension is handy for. You won't be able to get the ratchet and all the way down there to be able to do anything with it. Those 3 were 10 millimeter. This is a 12 millimeter. While you're doing this job, you might as well just change your air filter, or at least check it, make sure that it's clean, not dirty. That's going to be one of the major things that'll get you better gas mileage down the road. So while you're here, you might as well do that, and I'll show you. So now that we got all these 3 bolts and 1 nut removed, you're just going to go ahead and unhook the system from there, and it just lifts out just like that. And I'll show you here in a second. Once all that's out of the way, you have more than enough room to get to your spark plugs, which are right here. One right there, and the other one's right there. So, you know, while it seems pretty hard, it's really not a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and remove those boots and pull out the old spark plugs. Alright, so I need to get these boots off. So you're just going to kind of gently, kind of work them off of there until they come off. Just like that. Another thing I heard that you want to check for on Subarus, make sure there's no oil on this boot, or you may have a gasket leaking. And I don't, so that's awesome. Now that you got those off, make sure you know which one you pulled off. I know that this top one is this one, so you don't want to mess up your firing order. This is one of the jobs that you're going to need extensions for, and a spark plug socket. they have a special rubber grommet inside that's going to grab the plug after you get it off and help you to remove it. You can loosen it up with whatever you got, whatever tool you have, and then later on you can use a vacuum hose to get it out, you know, the appropriate size vacuum hose. So you just stick it in there, get it on the spark plug, and then just go ahead and make sure your wrench is going in the right direction. And just go ahead and loosen it off. Counterclockwise is loosen, clockwise is tighten. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, you may have heard. Just going to go ahead and pull that out. I'm not sure exactly, you know, how often you should change your spark plugs. It really depends on the grade of spark plug you get. They sell the copper plugs, and those I think generally last 20,000 miles. Now they got the platinum and the double platinum and the iridiums, and so it depends on really what you have going on in your engine. If you have a supercharged or turbo, whatever, you know, that's going to, you know, obviously be. It's gonna be different for all cars, basically. Like I said, since the last time I did this, I put about 20,000 miles on it. They probably don't need to be changed, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it anyway. This on here. As you see that grommet helping me out, pull the spark plug. These look pretty good. They do look a little bit worn. So just so you see the difference between old spark plugs and new one. This is the old one. This is a brand new one. So I mean, you're not going to be able to really tell, how they're worn, but they look like they're wearing okay. Normally if they come out and you pull them out and there's black, you have some sort of oil leaking in or something like that. So, if they come out looking pretty clean, you generally know that your engine's still running pretty efficiently. Also on your spark plugs, you're going to have to set the gap, depending on what your car calls for, and if you can gap the plugs. The copper ones you can gap. A lot of the platinum ones or the iridium ones, the gap is already preset. So just so now I'm going to go ahead and put in my new plugs. Snap them into the socket, and generally you just want to take this and be real gentle with it. Just kind of slide it in there and then hand tighten it. You don't want to over tighten these spark plugs, and you want to make sure they're not cross threaded, because that'll be a big problem too. A lot of engines are aluminum blocks nowadays, so you want to be sure that you do not over tighten them. Generally, just go ahead and hand tighten them until you can't, tighten them with your hand until you can't anymore, and then go ahead and put maybe like a half turn or a quarter turn with your ratchet. That's generally a good rule of thumb. So now you see I can't really turn it anymore. I'm going to throw my ratchet on there and give it about a half turn, quarter turn, till it's nice and tight with the ratchet. So now that I got both spark plugs, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall my spark plug wires on the top. You want to make sure you hear audible click when you put these on. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but you get a good, audible click when you do that. Then you're just going to go ahead and reinstall all your stuff. While you're here, you might want to check your power steering fluid, because when the air intakes right here, you can check it, but you can't fill it without really taking that off unless you use a funnel or something. So just something that you might want to check while you're here. Okay, so now we're ready to put our air intake back together. So basically, just going to go right back together the way it came out. You're going to line up your holes up front. Drop this piece in. When you drop this piece in, make sure you reconnect it to the bottom of this. You just might want to do that while you have it out. It might be easier that way. So just go ahead and put that back together. It just came apart when I took it off. So the whole system will just go back in here. Pretty easy, no big deal. Make sure you're lined up on this screw and on this screw and on these screw holes. And you can go ahead and plug your air and just go ahead and reinstall all your screws. Alright, now you're ready to go to the other side. So for this other side, to get to the spark plugs, you're going to have to remove these screws right here, and I think that's it. There might be a thing on the bottom. So if it's full, just try to be careful. Mine's pretty empty, so it's a good time to remove it. So once you get them screws out, you basically just lift this out of here. It's going to be plugged in, so you're going to have to unplug it. So once you get that unplugged, you can just swing it up out of the way. I just leave that hose connected, and you'll see in here that, again, you have a pretty decent room. It's a little bit tighter than the other side because of the battery, but you can still do what you got to do. Well, there's no real good way to show you guys this side with the camera angle and stuff. So it's basically the same as the other side. The only thing I wanted to mention is that you might need to use a shorter extension. So now that we're all done, we're going to go ahead and remove the chocks from the back, and obviously close the hood and make sure that you don't have any tools under there, all your caps are tight. Maybe while you're here, check your power steering fluid. I'm going to need to put in some windshield washer fluid, check your radiator fluid, make sure all your levels are good, and that way you know that your car is mechanically sound and ready for the road. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove these chocks, and as you drive off of the ramps, go ahead and make sure that you drive really slow. You don't want to damage your car or anything, so just go ahead and ease it down off the ramps, and that'll be it. Thanks for watching.